Let me tell you something that might sound strange coming from someone who built millions through discipline. I hate discipline. I don't enjoy waking up early. I don't love saying no to things I want. I don't get excited about doing hard work when nobody's watching. And yet I do all of it, consistently, for years. How? Before we go further, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss future videos. Not because I'm stronger than you, not because I have some special willpower gene, but because I learned something most people never figure out. Discipline isn't about force, it's about design. The people you see who seem naturally disciplined, the ones who save money effortlessly, who work out without missing days, who build businesses while others make excuses, they're not fighting themselves every morning. They've simply stopped relying on motivation. And today I'm going to show you exactly how they do it. Because if you're still depending on willpower to change your life, you're playing a game you can't win. If this resonates with you, hit that subscribe button now. This channel is about real strategies that work when motivation runs out. Here's what nobody tells you about discipline. Your brain wasn't built for it. For thousands of years, human survival depended on one thing: conserving energy. The person who could rest when possible, eat when food was available, and avoid unnecessary effort, that person lived longer. Your ancestors who pushed themselves for no immediate reason, they died out. So your brain today is still running that same software. It wants comfort now, pleasure now, safety now. When you try to force yourself to save money instead of spending it, your brain sees that as a threat. When you try to wake up early to work on a side project, your brain interprets that as unnecessary risk. It's not being lazy. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do: protect you from wasting energy. And this is why most advice about discipline fails. People tell you to just be stronger, just want it more, just push through. That's like telling someone to hold their breath for an hour. You might last a few minutes through sheer determination, but eventually biology wins. The same thing happens with discipline. You can force yourself for a few days, maybe a few weeks, but the moment life gets stressful, the moment willpower runs low, you collapse back into old patterns. Not because you're weak, because you were fighting a battle you were never supposed to win. So if willpower doesn't work, what does? The answer is simpler than you think. You stop trying to be disciplined, and you start making discipline inevitable. Let me give you a real example from my own life. When I was building my first business, I knew I needed to save aggressively, but every month I'd tell myself, I'll save whatever's left at the end. Guess what was left at the end? Nothing. Not because I was reckless, but because money that sits in your account gets spent. Your brain sees it as available, and availability creates permission. So I changed one thing. I automated it. The day money hit my account, a percentage moved automatically into a separate savings account I couldn't easily access. I didn't see it, I didn't touch it, I didn't decide whether to save it. It just happened. And suddenly, saving became effortless. Not because I became more disciplined, but because I removed the decision entirely. That's the shift. Disciplined people don't rely on daily choices. They build systems that make the right choice automatic. The biggest mistake people make is thinking discipline happens in the moment. It doesn't. Discipline happens before the moment. Let me explain. If you wait until morning to decide whether you'll work out, you've already lost. Because in that moment, your brain will find every reason not to. I'm tired, I didn't sleep well, I'll do it tomorrow. But if you decide the night before, if you lay out your workout clothes, set your alarm across the room, and commit to just 5 minutes, the decision is already made. You're not fighting your brain in the morning. You're just following a plan. This is how I handled my spending during my building phase. I didn't trust myself to resist impulse purchases in the moment. So I created a rule. Any non-essential purchase required a 48-hour waiting period. If I wanted something, I wrote it down. 2 days later, I could revisit it. Most of the time, the desire was gone. The emotional urgency had faded. I wasn't disciplined. I just delayed the decision long enough for logic to catch up with emotion. That's the real trick. You don't need to be strong in the moment. You need to be smart before the moment. Here's a question most people never ask. Why is it so easy to waste time on your phone and so hard to read a book? It's not because your phone is more valuable. It's because your phone is more accessible. One tap and you're in. No friction, no delay, instant reward. Meanwhile, the book is somewhere across the room. You have to stand up, find it, open it, focus. Your brain compares these two options and picks the path of least resistance every single time. So if you want to change your behavior, you don't need more willpower. You need to reverse the friction, make the wrong choice harder, make the right choice easier. When I was working on my first big project, I knew distractions would kill my progress. So I didn't rely on self-control. I deleted social media apps from my phone. I turned off all notifications. I put my phone in a drawer in another room. If I wanted to check it, I had to physically get up, walk across the room, and unlock the drawer. Was it impossible? No, but it was annoying enough that I stopped doing it. Meanwhile, I made work easier. I set up my laptop the night before with exactly what I needed to start. No searching for files, no deciding what to work on. I removed decisions, I removed friction, and suddenly focus became automatic. This works for money too. Want to stop overspending? Delete shopping apps? Unsubscribe from marketing emails? Remove saved payment information? Make spending require effort. Want to save more? Automate transfers. Make savings the default, not the choice. Discipline isn't about being strong. It's about being lazy in the right direction. Most people fail at discipline because they start too big. They want to save $1,000 a month. They want to work out for an hour every day. They want to build a business while working full-time. And when they can't sustain that level of intensity, they quit entirely. Here's what actually works. Start so small it feels ridiculous. If you want to save money, start with $5 a week. If you want to work out, start with 2 push-ups. If you want to write, start with 1 sentence. Your ego will resist this. That's nothing. That won't make a difference. I need to go bigger. Ignore it, because the goal at the beginning isn't results. It's repetition. You're not trying to save a fortune in week 1. You're trying to become the type of person who saves. You're not trying to get fit immediately. You're trying to prove to yourself that you can show up. Once the habit exists, you can scale it. But if the habit never starts because the goal was too ambitious, you have nothing to scale. I learned this the hard way. When I first tried to control my expenses, I set aggressive targets. I'll only spend 10% of my income. It lasted 3 weeks. Then I adjusted. I'll track every purchase for 1 month. No judgment, just awareness. That worked. And once I had awareness, I could make better decisions. Small and consistent beats big and broken every time. Here's something that sabotages most people. They think discipline means perfection. One mistake, and they spiral. I spent money I shouldn't have. I'm terrible at saving. I missed 1 workout. I have no discipline. That's not how this works. Discipline isn't about never failing. It's about failing without quitting. The people who build wealth, who stay consistent, who actually change, they don't have perfect streaks. They just recover faster. They don't let 1 bad decision become a bad week. This is where tracking helps, not to punish yourself, but to see patterns. I tracked my spending obsessively during my building phase, not because I enjoyed it, but because it removed emotion from the equation. I could see exactly where money was going. No shame, no guilt, just data. And data doesn't lie. If I overspent 1 week, I adjusted the next. I didn't quit. I corrected. That's the difference. Most people treat discipline like a pass-fail test. 1 mistake and they give up. Successful people treat it like a game with infinite rounds. You lose 1 round? Fine. Start the next one. Progress isn't linear, but it is directional. As long as you're moving forward more than backward, you're winning. Here's the final piece. Your brain creates stories about who you are. I'm bad with money. I'm not a disciplined person. I always quit things. And once your brain believes that story, it will find evidence everywhere to confirm it. That's called identity. And identity is more powerful than any goal. Because you can set a goal to save $10,000. But if you still see yourself as someone who's bad with money, you'll sabotage it. Your actions will always align with your identity. So the real breakthrough isn't changing what you do, it's changing who you think you are. Every time you save money, even $5, you're casting a vote. A vote for, I am someone who saves. Every time you delay a purchase, you're proving I am someone who controls impulses. You don't need $1 million net worth to call yourself disciplined. You just need evidence. Small evidence. Repeated evidence. After enough votes, your identity shifts. And when your identity shifts, discipline stops being a battle. It becomes who you are. So let's bring this together. Discipline doesn't come from willpower. It comes from systems. Remove decisions before they happen. Make wrong choices harder and right choices easier. Start smaller than feels comfortable. Track progress without demanding perfection. And rewrite the story you tell yourself. You don't need to be stronger. You don't need to want it more. You just need to stop fighting your brain and start working with it. Because the people who look disciplined from the outside, they're not superhuman. They just designed a life where the right behavior is easier than the wrong one. And if they can do it, so can you. In the next video, we'll go deeper into something most people avoid, how to budget in a way that actually works in real life, without feeling like you're punishing yourself. This channel isn't about motivation. It's about systems that work when motivation dies. If you're ready to build real wealth through principles that actually last, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Because everything I'm teaching you is building towards something bigger, and you don't want to miss what comes next.